Hello, everyone. I'm sure everybody now is in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic. So, one of the things that I think everybody needs to do is to ignore the media hype. The flu that we live with every year that comes around kills far more people, it's more serious, but we're used to that. That's typical, so it's not exciting for anybody. So now we since it's something that I guess affects the respiratory system and people have shortness of breath and all that, people have decided to go out and buy toilet paper. So there's that. Toilet paper and hand sanitizer, and I don't know how they're going to go through that much, but we'll see. But anyway, speaking of that, we might as well remove the lungs at birth so that people don't catch this in the future. It might cause future problems. You never know. It makes as much sense as removing the foreskin because it might cause future problems. Far more guys have problems and from their circumcisions than this coronavirus. Now, many of the guys don't realize that the problems they may have, whether it be rawness, skin bridges, painful erections, difficulty getting erections once they get older, things like that. Many of these are side effects from their circumcisions. But they never think of that, and nor will the medical people that are trying to promote circumcision tell them that. They'll have all kinds of other reasons of why this is, happening. But, what they're not going to tell them is that they're experiencing problems because they were circumcised. So, this is one of those things that people try to excuse or justify circumcising because, he'll have problems later. Well, it's easier to do it now than to do it later. It's like they make it sound like they think it's inevitable that, well, if I don't circumcise him now, he's going to just have to deal with it later. No, he won't. There's absolutely no need for circumcision. And he's never going to need to be circumcised. I am not circumcised. I'm very proud of that. And I'm willing to tell anybody that. Foreskin is a great and wonderful thing. And I would never, ever want to lose mine. So to remove a part of a body, to remove a healthy body part, because the foreskin is healthy and has benefits. And to remove it because, someday he might have problems. If that's a reason to justify it, you might as well remove every single body part that you have, because any part of the body has the potential to have a problem. You can get pain, you can get an infection, you can get whatever in any part of the body you have. Now, the foreskin, as wonderful as it is not an exception to this. Sure, it might someday possibly have a problem, but there is no bigger chance of this than any other part of the body. If that is a reason to remove your foreskin, you might as well remove your 2 eyeballs, because you might get pink eye, so remove those eyeballs. That will prevent pink eye. That is as justified as removing the foreskin to prevent a possible future infection. Remove those eyeballs. If you're going to insist on circumcising, you better remove your eyeballs too to prevent eye problems. See how stupid that sounds? But that's how ridiculous that argument is. That is how ridiculous that argument is. The foreskin is great and wonderful. Not only does it protect the head of the penis, it provides pleasure and aesthetics. I mean, it looks great. You know, if people think it looks weird to not be circumcised, that's just because they're not used to a penis looking the way it's supposed to look. An uncircumcised or intact penis looks awesome. And what's more, that's the way it's designed to look and to function. And you know, as with anything else, if you make something to work a certain way, if you remove one of the parts, it's not going to work as well. It may still work, but it's not going to work as well or as it was supposed to be. You know, and that's the same with anything. You know, if you decided that, okay, you're going to remove the eyelids because you know that interaction between the eyelid, the inside of the eyelid and the eyeball, you're going to get problems. You're going to get diseases. You know, you can't get up inside your eyeball and clean it properly. You know, it's just going to cause problems. We might as well remove those eyelids. You know, you might be able to see out of your eyes, at least for a while, but your eyes are not going to work. They're not going to feel, and they're not going to look the way they were supposed to. And so that's going to be a loss for you. So this is the same kind of argument that people try to use when it comes to the foreskin. And when you use that same argument and put it for some other part of the body, and you'll see how ridiculous it sounds. You know, nobody would do that. Nobody would remove their eyelids because it might cause their eyes problems. You know, and that's what we need to see and to say and to tell people when it comes to the foreskin. The foreskin is really the best part of the penis. It is what really is the icing on the cake, if you want to put it that way. It is the main point of the penis. It is what gives the most pleasure. You know, guys that are circumcised think it's the head or glands. It's not. It's the foreskin. That's where the most nerves are. That's where the most pleasure is. You know, and so people need to realize that the foreskin is a great and wonderful thing. And it is a truly horrible thing that anybody thinks they have the right to decide for somebody else whether they should have it or not. You know, it's not your choice. It's not your choice. The choice only belongs to the person to whom it belongs. You know, the guy or the boy himself. He's the one who would decide that. And nobody in his right mind who knows how great the foreskin feels is going to want to remove it. You know, guys that do, it's because they've caved into your peer pressure, your bullying, your talking about how, well, it looks weird, or it's not healthy, or it's dirty, or it's whatever. It's because of pressure from people saying things like that. That's the only reason why they've done it, not because it didn't give them pleasure. So circumcision needs to end. There's just no excuse for it. And there's no sense in this whole idea of removing it to prevent future problems. That is a ridiculous and idiotic idea. It's as idiotic as to say, let's remove your lungs so you don't get coronavirus. That's how stupid it sounds. That argument has no bearing and no weight. And I don't care who says otherwise, whether they're a physician or a nurse or anything like that. If that is your argument, you don't know what you're talking about.